Hello, everyone who is listening. Let me make sure this is recording. Okay, I just checked and it looks like it is recording. So, let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to. Okay, sorry, excuse me. These lights are way too bright. It's 10:30. What looks cool? Does that look cool? What looks cool? This looks sick. Let's make it bright so we can see what's going on. And we got these moody candles. If you're listening this on your streaming platform of choice, well then I kind of apologize because you have no idea what's going on. But I'm in my basement. And to create the imagery for you, I just turned on like my red lights. I have these hue lights that are like $50 a bulb. They're very expensive. But over multiple birthdays and Christmases, I've learned to get a couple. And my basement is wood paneling. And sometimes smells like cat pee, but I'm mostly nose blind, so I can't really smell it. Actually, I think it kind of stopped smelling like cat pee for the most part. So, if you're an avid fan of this podcast, you can probably tell that the audio quality is different. And if you're watching this on video, you can see I'm using a different mic. Well, it's because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if my other mic is broken. I tried to record this podcast the other day, and halfway through, the microphone broke. And that happened with last podcast, like 2 weeks before that. I replaced the cord, and the mic seemed to start working. But then, like halfway through the podcast, it just fails. So who knows? Maybe that'll happen with this, but. This mic creates a really low signal, and there's like a lot of noise, so I apologize. Hopefully it's not too noisy, because I'll have to boost the audio probably quite a lot in post, but yeah. I just had actually a whole pizza. Genuinely, I ate a whole, just like large pizza, medium pizza, I don't really know. It was just like a normal big pizza. It was like 3 meat or whatever. It had lots of pepper, lots of grease. It was a little overwhelming. I feel a little gross. Hopefully that won't come across in this podcast. Me being full on grease and pizza and recording a podcast at 10:30 on a Friday night, may I add, if that adds to the mood. I think this is episode 5 of season 1. Welcome back to the podcast. I have some notes here. As I said previously, I tried to record this earlier, but failed, so I'm doing this again. Shout out to Sam for last podcast. In the comments, he said that he in fact liked chili cheese Fritos, and I thought it was funny, so thank you, Sam. What is going on in music? Oliva Rodrigo, if that's how you pronounce her name, probably. She released, what is it called? Driver's License a couple weeks ago. And if you don't know what that is, you can look up Driver's License and give it a listen. It's music. It's her debut song. She, after doing my research about her, she was a Disney star, and now she just kind of has a big TikTok following. And you know, who doesn't have a big TikTok following at this point? TikTok is truly where you go if you want to get big, and your audience is a bunch of just, I don't know how to sound rude, or how to not sound rude, but I got off TikTok for a reason, and I'll probably talk about that later in this podcast. That's not related to music, but hey, it's not just music-related things. It's Henry Polay just does things, and Henry likes music, so he happens to talk about that. But Driver's License, I'd talk about this not because it's really anything too special. I'll go into a quick little review about it. I listened to it maybe like 10 times through. We're over a span of, maybe like 4 days, just to let it saute. Because, I want to actually give my legit thoughts and stuff. But here's some context. It came out January 8th. 3 days later, it became Spotify's record for most streams in a day for a non-holiday song. January 12th had 17 million streams. Remember, for her debut album. Did I say, sorry, debut single. Did I say she's 17? Maybe I did, but holy cow, she is 17. Spotify said, "We've never seen anything like this, where you have a newer artist that just comes out of the gate in such a dominant way and just continues to go." It broke Spotify's records. Like, it is insane, this 17-year-old artist. The song is a breakup song. I'm very lovey. Actually, I should probably say it has a little feeling of, there's actually a lack of love because, well, it's like she got dumped. And there's rumors this is based off of real life, and her boyfriend came out with some song, blah blah blah, whatever. Who really wants this? Isn't a freaking T drama channel. If you want T, go to Frenemies on the H3 podcast and watch that. But it's this breakup song and sad and emotional, very emotional. There's some big kind of just, "'cause I just fucking love you," stuff like that. And I'm sorry, I can't play this song on this podcast. It'd be copyright, but totally, if you want to know what I'm talking about and haven't heard Driver's License, go ahead and listen to it. This won't be too long a review because I want to get to other stuff, frankly. So I watched the music video too, and some of these critiques will be about the music video. Actually, I think most of them. In the music video, very quickly, there's this one just piano note going dun 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 because it's pop and repetition is good or whatever. People like repetition, it's easy to listen to. And if you're literally going like dun 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 on the beat, well, that's probably the most repetitive thing you can do in music. She's playing that note. I don't know what note it is, but it's on this like $10 like keyboard. On this, like the cat keyboard, kind of like that. It's this obviously very crappy keyboard, and she's on the ground just going like dun dun. I thought, frankly, it was kind of dumb because the sound is so obviously not coming from that keyboard. It just seems dumb. But also from like the writing and directing, producing perspective, I realized that they want to show that she's a teen and she's growing up, and like to further that idea. If it's a kid and they're playing on this kid keyboard, it will further the idea that, oh, they're still a kid and they're still emotional, and they have a past, and maybe they're still living in their good times, but this girl got broken up with, so she's not living in her good times, blah, blah, whatever. Just thought that was dumb. Quick little gripes. And the song, I thought this was funny. Just the blonde girl. Of course, it's the blonde girl that makes her self-conscious. It's always the blonde girl. I watched this video in my video production class, the music video, before she swears. Before she starts blaring the F word. Watched it in my video production class in high school. Because I'm a high schooler. I don't know why I mentioned it was in high school. And my teacher was like, yeah, of course it's the blonde girl. I agree. It's just like, come on. Here's a line I thought was annoying. Not necessarily gripe for the song. I just thought it was a dumb line. And all my friends are tired. It's a good line, but all my friends are tired of hearing how much I miss you. I kind of feel sorry for them. Because they'll never know you the way that I do. I just feel like that's full of yourself, frankly. This is more just like a human. This is my opinion. The line, I kind of feel sorry for them because they'll never know you the way that I do. That feels like really just full of yourself. You'll feel sorry for them? Like, dude, they're supposed to be your friends. You're not supposed to feel sorry for your friends because they didn't know your boyfriend the way that you did. Of course they didn't. That would be bad. If your friends know your boyfriend truly the way that you know your boyfriend, I think there's something wrong because, that's not exactly how a relationship works. I think there might be something a little more going on in the friendship if that's the kind of relationship you guys have. There might be some emotional cheating going on. Whenever she's driving her car, the colors look super good. If you watch the music video, go ahead and watch it. If you haven't, go ahead and watch it. Super Blade Runner, Vaporwave, just neon. I thought it was really aesthetic. And I know it's really trendy, so me saying that, I just kind of sort of cringe, really, because it's like, ugh. Like Sad Boy Simpson. I like Vaporwave stuff. That's so overdone, and it's kind of dead, but I still like it. Like, look at my basement. I like the lights. That was totally just a music video. Like, I thought it looked good. Looking at the behind the scenes, it's funny. She released a video behind the scenes of the music video, gone trending on YouTube very quickly. And it just, it's just funny. They just shine these lights. You know, of course, she's not actually driving. 234, that mark into the song. I really enjoyed that. Caught me off guard the first time, actually. I'm definitely not a fan of this kind of music at all. Like, I wouldn't listen to this just for fun, really. But I can appreciate it. Like, the production at this part and throughout the entire song is really, really good. Like, I'm not going to act like I'm some production assistant or I'm a producer. No, I'm a 16-year-old. But, like, you know when something sounds clear and crisp. Like, this is why I say about mixing. Mixing is entirely using your ears. In the end, at the base, what mixing is, it's just using your ears and listening. And if you have good ears, then you can generally, if you know, like, what to do when you hear a problem, that's all mixing is, knowing what to do when you hear a specific problem. Right. I know, it's a good mix. It's great production. At 234, though, it was like, it caught me off guard because it was so, I used the word emotional. I just was, like, impactful, frankly. I'm not one for impactful breakup songs, but no, it was like, wow, yeah, this is definitely emotional, and I can feel the person's pain. Because I just love you. You know? So I say you know so much. I've noticed that ever since. I've noticed that for a while, but mainly since this podcast started, and I have to just listen to it. It's me saying you know and like a ton. I guess what teenager doesn't do that, but I definitely have a really bad habit of saying you know, you know. Oh, by the way, earlier in the podcast when I talked about eating that entire pizza, I don't know if I connected my thought process because I'm drinking so much water because I just ate that entire pizza and it's making me really thirsty because of the salt and the grease. I'm pretty sure I didn't connect those thoughts, so sorry if that was confusing. And I was like, why is this guy randomly just talking about pizza? Yeah, that was why. Great production. Overall, I thought it was a good song. Like, I'm reviewing this because this is the what's new in music portion, and maybe this isn't new anymore, but remember, I tried to record this podcast multiple times, so it was newer when I tried to record it. It felt big, you know, it felt like the biggest thing about this isn't necessarily the song. Nothing's too special about the song. Pretty, I feel like standard. Like, good. I think objectively well made for sure. But nothing crazy pops out, you know. I just said it. I just said you know. Oh my gosh. My man's. But what I really want to talk about, and I bring this up because just she's 17. This girl is 17. This was her debut song. And it legitimately broke Spotify records. That is mind blowing to me. 17 million, right? Isn't that the number? Somewhere in that 17 million streams in like what 3 days? That is absurd. Like you truly can't even comprehend 17 million. You can't comprehend 1 million. Truly like comprehend 17 million people. That's just absurd. And I know she had a TikTok following. There was a lot of hype and a lot of drama around the song with other songs. The boyfriend song, whatever. I don't really know too much in the details. Don't know the fine print too well about the drama. Stuff that I've heard about. I know there's rumors that it's about a real life breakup or something. I know I read an interview with her when I was doing my research for the segment about what's new in music on the Henry Polite Does Music Things podcast, where she talked about she was like crying in her car. It's called Driver's License because the song's about, you know, she goes to the guy's neighborhood and she was like, in the song, you were so excited for me to get my new driver's license so I could go to your house whenever I wanted. Like, I know that's a very teenager thing. Like, I felt that. I was excited to get a driver's license so I could go to my girlfriend's house just when I wanted. Not when I wanted, but just, I was really trying not to say there. But I truly felt that was the best way to. It's like I expect you guys listening to this to, you know. And it's just like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? It's like, no, they probably know you what I'm talking about. You're just blabbering on. And apparently she was crying in her car, something very similar to what's going on in the music video of Driver's License. She came home and she was like, I can write a song about this. It's a little, like, when people capitalize on them being sad, that's just a little weird sometimes. It's, a good example. Maybe this isn't capitalized, no. But, you know, let's just go into full stereotype, like kind of rude mode, and I apologize if this offends anyone, but like Snapchat white girl preps, whatever you want to call them, whenever they cry, whenever anything happens where they're sad. And I realize and I totally get that they're documenting, but it feels like, and then like if they post it, that's like, come on. You just want attention. And I'm not saying you're crying to get attention. You probably cried for whatever reason you're actually crying. But that's so fake. It's so artificial. It takes you out of the moment. Okay, I was going to go on a big side thing about people living in the moment. But it's like, just live in the moment for once in your life, right? Well, I don't want to sound too much like a grumpy boomer, so I'll probably slow down. Anyways, I relate that back to she comes home from crying in her car, and her thought process isn't like, go get some warm soup and some comforting blankets. It's, no, let me write a song about this. But in the interview, she did say it felt like supernatural, and of course she says this. Who knows if she even wrote the song, but she said that it felt natural and comfortable for her to write, and nothing really felt forced. So I congratulate her. That sounds cool. Let me check if the camera's recording. The camera is recording. I've had problems with this camera just turning off. And if it does, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't be surprised if some random footage just starts playing. Because, yeah, I don't know, I'm still figuring things out. I know this is like the 5th episode, and hey, but come on, it takes a while to get things figured out. This is also a new freaking camera, dude. Not a new camera. It's not a new camera at all, but I've just acquired it recently, so to me, personally, it is new. Well, that was the what's new in music segment. I don't really know what else is new in music. For me, some new music things on Teddy P, not the YouTube channel, my Insta. Link in description if you're on YouTube. Posted some photos of me out on the salt flats, and there will be 2 more at least. Posts containing photos from the salt flats and talking about me when I went out on my journey to the salt flats. So if you follow the Instagram, be looking forward to that, because there's some amazingly pretty photos. If you already saw the first ones, like, they are beautiful. Just me and then the sunset. Not me. That sounds super nice. So, yeah, I'm so beautiful. No, the sunset, like, playing out there was so just stunning. It was so surreal. The end of 2020, and it's just, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, just playing the menu log out. And there were some good clips, some less good clips, but I got some really good stuff. If you are subscribed to this channel, which has 11 subscribers, I don't really know who's subscribed. I know I made my mom subscribe, but hey, 11. I remember when I started out and I had 2, so growth is growth. It's been about 7 months, but yeah. I might change the name Teddy P. If you look up Teddy P, get Teddy Pendergrass, and that's a big problem, frankly. If we're looking from a marketing perspective, not that, I'm big enough to actually worry about and look through marketing perspective. I like to think bigger. That's just where I am, right? The goal is not to just have 11 subscribers. The goal is to have like 1,000 subscribers. But before you get there, you need to get 200 on my normal YouTube channel. I've had that for maybe 8 years, 5 years. I've videos recorded when I was like 12, 11, maybe even 10 on there. So I've had a while and I have like 240. But Teddy P is different because I advertise that much more than Mr. Watermelon. But anyways, jibber jabber. No one really cares about that. I was just thinking of changing the name Teddy P to just Henry Poli. You know, like it's me. I think the more I do Teddy P, the more personal it is for me doing it. Like I feel less like I'm Teddy P. I feel more like this is just me. Like I'm just putting myself out there. But sorry. Anyways, point being, if you saw a new video, it was my audition video for All State Jazz Band in Utah, UMEA. I thought it was all right. My audition was, it was all right. The etude, if you want to go listen to it, it's just on my YouTube channel. It's I think the video before this one when I get this one posted. It's the etude. The first thing I play, I had some really bad timing issues. Some tuning issues. I always have tuning issues. Definitely tuning issues on the head of Take the A Train, which was, I also had to take the A Train and play a chorus over that. But overall, I think it went alright. If I get in, I get in. I just feel like realistically, the chance of me, the chances of me being one of the 2 altos in the entirety of the state getting in, they seem slim. Because inevitably, inexorably, I feel like someone else will have just spent 2 hours a day practicing everything, and I just didn't put in that time, and they deserve it more than me, or whatever. But it's good to put yourself out there, and also, I had to put that video on YouTube. That was the only way that I could get it in, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll put that on Teddy P. Anyways, new stuff in music. That's not. We're leaving this segment. What's new music? This is just music stuff that happens to be new. That was a really convoluted thought process. NAMM is happening. If you don't know what NAMM is, well, you're out of the loop. NAMM is like a music convention where all these music brands just tend to release a bunch of new stuff, and Teddy P is kind of a synth thing. And well, Synths definitely got released at NAMM. I don't know what NAMM stands for. NAMN. I have no idea what that stands for, but let's go through what's been released. I did some research, watched a lot of videos, and I'm only going to talk about the stuff I thought was moderately interesting. And I'm still probably missing a lot of stuff. This list was old. When new items were still coming out, so. But here's what I found interesting. Okay, first off, these are all going to be Korg things. I will say when it switches to another brand, but ARP 2600M. This is just, that synth is just incredibly famous already, and I know, what did Korg release last time? Some other ARP synth that sold out crazy fast. I do not know how expensive this is, but it's cool. It's definitely cool and definitely a luxury item, and we'll get to some contentions later because Behringer, of course, it's Behringer. They released some stuff that will probably take a lot of sales that will be a lot cheaper, I'm sure, than this ARP. And they'll take a lot of sales. But that's about all I have to say. It's just kind of a luxury item. That's really cool. Still come from Korg. We got the Mini Korg 700. $2,000. Once again, a very kind of luxury item. $2,000. Also, this one is like a limited edition. The Mini Korg, apparently it was the first synth Korg made or something. I'm probably getting that wrong. I don't. It's something. Sorry, I apologize. But it's a recreation of the Mini Korg. and I'll play the video right here. So as you saw, it was a quick little video, and I don't know if I played all of it. I don't actually remember how long that video was. I think this is the one that had bad music. I was just like, come on. But I think it's cool. It, nothing I would ever get. It's very much not super practical, I feel like. And I'm really... I don't know, I can't say I'm practical because I have some weird stuff. But my two main things are the Korg Mini Lock and Safari. Those are very practical for my needs and my uses. More practical if I get better at the piano, which I'm trying to do. I haven't practiced piano like the past 3 days, dude. It's Friday. Yeah, 3 days. Ugh. Yeah. I need to practice piano. But the point is synths too. There's a lot more to synths than being good at piano. I feel like practicing synthesis is much different than practicing the piano. That's not like skill based, really. But people have strong opinions about that. I probably shouldn't dive in that territory. But $2,000 for a limited edition recreation of a vintage synth, nothing too special. And here's a gripe. They released a synth called Mod Wave, and if you stay updated with Korg, I think last year at NAMM, they released the wave table, or wave state. Sorry, it's called wave state, right? And it uses wavetable synthesis, which is like, And this one also uses wavetable synthesis. But it sticks with my biggest gripe, frankly, is the design. Like, there's no real legit videos of this thing being used, but just it uses the same design as the wave state, and I hate that design. It's freaking gross. Like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look up Korg wave state. Just not a fan. So I think my camera turned off, so yeah, my camera turned off, so it'll just be more syncing and editing for me. Ugh. Having a podcast is so tiring. Ugh. No, I love you guys. I go through pain so I can try to make good content for everyone, right? That's the goal, at least. But anyways, back to this mod table. Nothing too excited. There's no info on the price or release date, but I assume it will be similarly priced to the wave table. Sorry, wave state. And yeah, once again, bad design. I just don't like it. Come from Dave Smith. Basically, they just made the Prophet synths smaller. I love the Prophet synths. All of them. So good. I think they sound so good. Expensive too. But they made that into when I say smaller, I'm talking about they just made it like the capsule, and they removed the keyboard from it, which apparently was a lot of people are wanting that, so it's good for them. I don't have much to say about that. Behringer, this is the coolest thing. They are releasing the Blue Marvin and the Gray Meanie. These are old synths that were, from the research I did, apparently there were like, maybe only hundreds of these released when they were released originally. It's priced at $700, and a really cool feature, I think, both have dimmable fader LEDs. So on the faders, there's LEDs, and I think that's so cool. I'm always playing synths in the dark, and I know what each knob does, but still, just have LEDs and be able to find each thing and just change it and move it. I just think that's really cool having LEDs. Also, think they both look very cool. Um, Gray Meanie is, believe this or not, actually, is great. You know, the movie 50 Shades of Grey? It's like that, but it's only one shade of gray. I actually haven't seen 50 Shades of Grey. Um, I don't think the demographic for 50 Shades of Grey is 16-year-old boys. I know plenty of 16-year-old boys would probably love that movie. Would probably love, well, for what it's about. I've seen come on. Shipping begins February 2021 for the Gray Meanie and the Blue Marvin from Behringer. This is definitely going to take a lot of cells from Korg, at least in the art, because it's like the same thing. Also, they added spring reverb, which I think is really cool. Always release vintage stuff, but add like small, cool, just effective features. Behringer is pretty good at that. Behringer is a cool company. Sometimes they're dumb, and recently they kind of got canceled in the synth or just the music community because they released this recreation of a synth, but it wasn't a vintage synth. It wasn't even a synth. It was like a MIDI keyboard. It was the Arturia. I don't even know what it's called. What's it called? It's the keyboard everyone has. This like MIDI keyboard, but it also has a sequencer, and there's a slightly bigger one that just got released recently, I think. Frankly, I was thinking getting one. Everyone has this. It's super useful. I've seen reviews, great stuff, high quality from everything I've heard about it. Behringer entirely recreated it for like I think $20 more. It's called the Behringer like Swing or something stupid, and it totally got canceled. A lot of people are hating on Behringer, but on TikTok, when I still had TikTok, there was this guy, and his main synth was the Poly D. I don't remember his name. If I could, I would give him credit right now so you could check him out. And if you don't know what the it's just the mini Moog, but like Behringer and a recreation, and a lot, well, definitely cheaper. It's just really cool. And he got some good sounds. Sometimes I watch reviews of the Poly D. Well, like I have. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I dig out the sounds. And other times I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. Always just depends on the sound, I guess. But just the overall character and form of the sound. Like the aesthetic of the sound, the timbre, throughout the entire synth. That's an important timbre. I don't think that's right. Where I think timbre requires like that is like a saxophone has a specific type of timbre, has a different timbre than a violin, because they're like creating sound waves. Poly D creates sound waves, but they come out of the speaker, and that produces the same. I don't know. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, shipping begins February 2021 for Blue Marvin Gray Meanie, and now I'm wrapped up. Definitely thought Blue Marvin Gray Meanie. Those were really cool from Behringer. I dug that Behringer got cool points. Korg, I wish they would release like big version, a mini like XD, or like the Pro leg is basically just big version of the mini leg. So you could argue that's also the big version of the mini log XD because they're like the same thing, somewhat. Mini log XD has a lot more features and cool little doodads, but yeah, man. NAMM this year, due to the coronavirus, believe it or not, I don't know if you can believe this, but definitely it is held online. It was held online. And when I say that it was held online, it wasn't like a big Zoom, It's just each each music company, so like Yamaha, Korg, Behringer, Nord, whatever, each just released their things during this time. And yeah, I know Yamaha released some electric pianos, and Korg's been releasing some, from what I've seen from their Instagram, some pianos. What are they called? Like workstations? Where it's just kind of like everything in one keyboard. And I've never even used one of those. I don't know. I don't. I have zero need for that, and I have plenty. Like, I'm set. I don't need any freaking workstations. You know, Ableton Live is my workstation. You know, but yeah, that's NAMM. That wraps that up. And frankly, that was kind of everything I wanted to go through during this podcast. Oh geez, it's 11:04. Oh my gosh, guys, I apologize if I seem kind of tired in this. I definitely am tired. I wanted to get this out this week because my goal is every other week for recording this podcast, and I didn't want to have the feeling of I didn't record the podcast, and I have to record the podcast. But I didn't do it the week I would set it, so now I have no self-worth. Blah, 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 blah. But I'm getting this out. Theoretically, hopefully the microphone works. Hopefully I am partially focused. Hopefully everything works, because the last podcast was a complete bust. It was kind of insane. The last podcast, I started telling ghost stories. Like, if you get this far into the podcast and you wanna comment on this video, and if you wanna hear me talk about like ghost stories, well, you can comment that. But it was a weird podcast. It got weird. It got sidetracked so much because these lights turned off, and sort of a dumb story, but these lights can legitimately only be turned off if you plug them out, or if someone manually has an app and turns them off and is connected to them. And they manually, one by one, these two on the right changed. One of them changed to purple, one of them changed to this bright white, and the two on this side slowly turned off. And apparently my mom said Edward might have changed them while he's not in the state right now. Don't know how he did that, but it freaked me out at the time because I didn't know that. And then I thought there was a guy in my house who was connected to my Wi-Fi network and had the Philips Hue app and was changing my lights. Now remember, the context for this is I was home alone 6 days. I am not home alone anymore, but at the time that was like my 6th day in a row being home alone, and I definitely didn't actually think there's a guy in my house. But still, it was like creepy, especially considering the night before my HomePod, the music totally just turned on in like the middle of the night. If you don't know what HomePod is, it's like an Alexa. It's just a speaker. It's a smart speaker. Just totally started playing music out of nowhere. So creepy. Like walking up and having music just playing and is that not from a horror movie? Like, come on, dude. Give me some break. But that didn't happen this podcast. And the ghost stories aren't even... I don't have, like, ghost stories. I've never seen a ghost in my life. I just talked about... whatever. Yeah, we should probably wrap this up, man. Because you need to go be productive. If you need to be productive... Dude, if you got everything done... and you're not procrastinating anything by listening to this podcast, dude, go you. So many people can't do that. I can't do that. I get into these big YouTube spirals, and then I'm just watching YouTube for like an hour. And then I'm like, I don't know why I just watched YouTube for an hour. Did I get any useful information that will help improve my life from sitting here for an hour watching Vsauce. Not Vsauce. Vsauce is cool. From watching gaming videos, which I don't even watch, but let's just use that as an example. Like, no, I didn't. But if you are procrastinating something by listening to this podcast, I would highly recommend you just get it done. I've been trying to really work on through 2020, definitely like the last fourth of 2020, working on just getting the stuff I need to do. Like, just get it done. And I say this while having a bunch of school stuff not done, but I'm definitely, it's a work in progress, right? But definitely working on like knowing, okay, what is something I need to do that is requires the most energy. I get that done first. I try and just work it out and plan it all out, and I think that's been pretty helpful. But if you're not a busy person, bro, who cares? You got all the time in the world. Go do what you want. Listen to this podcast. Listen to the other podcasts. Check out my music. Before I end the podcast, I'll say follow TimeCube because there's a new album coming. And if you are if you follow my Teddy P Instagram account, you might have seen my story the other day. I posted this, last night actually, but last night I say that, and I'm recording this January 29th, and this will probably be released January 30th or January 31st. At least I hope it will. Doesn't take too long to edit. You saw that I was working on some music. That music, which I thought was very cool. I added some really cool stuff the other day. That is going on the next TimeCube album. Through the Nebula. Follow the account or listen to the first album, TimeCube. It's been in my description on Teddy P for these videos if you're listening to this on YouTube ever since like the first video, dude. It is there. Listen to the TimeCube in all caps. Click that link if you want to listen to our first album. I will say the second album is so much better. Me and David, who's in the musical group of artists and music and group, we were like, yeah, we have gotten a lot better since the first album. The first album is not inherently bad. We're just a lot better at music now, music production. It'll be a really great album. Well, with that in mind, I'll head out. I gotta get out your hair, if you know what I'm saying. So that wraps it up. I hope you had fun listening to this podcast. I think this is a bit of a fast one. But I really wanted to talk about that driver's license song. And just NAMM, because NAMM, that's just a big music thing. Looks like we've been going for about 42 minutes. And that's a pretty normal sized podcast, so I'm okay with that. But it's not the time, If it's 42 minutes of just boring, mind-numbing content, it's like, who cares? It's 42 minutes. It's like 42 minutes of boring crap. Definitely just I'm driver's license. I just 17-year-old freaking TikTok star. It's just wild. It's wild what you can do with an audience. Well, in her case, it's an audience of 17 million people. But she definitely, I guess the message in the end really is become a Disney star. So then 10 years later when TikTok gets created, you can get TikTok and then make a TikTok account and be like, oh yeah, I was this girl in like High School Musical 2, check me out. And people will be like, oh yeah, and then you'll get a big following and then you can make music and get big. It sounds like I'm like resentful and jealous. No, I'm not. I'm a tinge bit jealous, but also that's not my musical path. That's not my path in life. That's really no one's path. No one is a Disney star. Very few people are Disney. It's just the realism of that is not exactly real. So it's definitely not realistic in any sense. But yeah, man, that wraps it up. If you're watching this and you got to the end, I actually love you and I hope you genuinely have a good day. It's 2021, and I know pandemic kills everything fun, and I totally feel that and empathize it. But if you want to help out the channel and are not subscribed, or if you're listening to this on streaming platforms, go ahead and follow my Instagram account and subscribe to my channel to listen to future music related project things, events. Yeah, I think I do. So you can listen and check it out. But man, I'll head out. Bye everyone. Love you.